Hello all. Good afternoon. Uh, in the previous class, with respect to your computer networks lab, I have taken a part B program. Okay, part B. That is nothing but to find an error in cyclic redundancy check cycle. Okay, so I have explained whole logic in the previous video, and today I want to show you how the program is going to work for the same logic. If I want to refresh your content in the logic, what we did is we are going to take a polynomial equation. The standard way, it is very clearly mentioned in the program that it should be, okay, 16 bits. So we have taken an example of x to the power of 16 plus x to the power of 12 plus x to the power of 5 plus x to the power of 0. Okay, so for that we have taken a generator, polynomial generator. Okay, then we have taken it data to be transmitted. For example, 110 is the example which I have explained you, and we have fed the data, and we started to do the division. Okay, and once we have done the division, we have find a division by using XOR operation. We find a cyclic redundancy check number. Okay, once we find a cyclic redundancy check number, again we are going to take that number and add to the data to be transmitted, and then try to see that if everything, whenever do XOR operation, you know what is the meaning of a XOR. If the both the bits are same, the value is 0. If the both the bits are different, the value is 1. Then if you find the same bits are coming like 0 0 0 0 0 whole 16 bits, then it is very clear that your data is not having any error. This is the logic which I have explained in my previous slide or a previous video. Today I am going to show you how the program actually works with respect to that of the cyclic redundancy check. Okay, so you know what all the things you people require to execute the part B programs, like you need a Eclipse and a JDK and Java as a supporting tool. So we are writing the program in Java actually, okay, to find the cyclic redundancy check. Okay, so let me show the execution of a program. Okay, you people can see here. So this is what our Eclipse is, which is an IDE. Okay, so as you people know, when I start my Java program, I'm always going to import the Java dot utility library functions for all the content which I'm using in a program. So import Java dot utility. So then, as you people know, the main part of the program is going to execute from the main part. So first and foremost thing, I need to declare an array. So this is how we are going to declare an array in Java. Okay, int a of array, okay, which is equal to new int of 100. Okay, like this I have declared two arrays, and I have declared the variables, and I have called as an object. Okay, I have created an object for CRC function. Okay, so now I'm going to tell enter the length of the data frame, which you already know it. Okay, so it is your wish that what is the length of data frame, the data to be transmitted that you want to enter. Okay, and if people know scanner, which is going to it is going to take all the input and output operations. Okay, so I have taken like your scanf, which is going to be in your C programming. It's going to take all the input. So now I have, for example, I'm going to enter the data as 3. You know, in the previous example also we had transmitted the same data 110. Okay, now the very important thing is your next int, which is a method of your scanner class to read the input in the format of integer. Since I'm entering the data in terms of an integer, now in order to read the integer, I'm using a method called as next int, which is a method of your scanner class to read the input in the format of integer. Now once I'm going to take the input, the length of bit is 3, and it is going to ask me to enter the message. Okay, this is just the length I'm taking. Now the message I want to enter, for example, I'm trying to transmit the bits like 110. Okay, then I'm starting to read and storing that bits in a of I. Okay, so once I have taken the bit, now I need to add the rest of the 16 bits. Do you agree? So the same thing we are dealing with the content. Like for example, if you remember, okay, so let me show you. If I'm taking a polynomial like one, okay, fine, just a minute. Yeah, 1 x to the power of 16. Okay, then x to the power, just 12 is 1. Okay, 1, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5 is 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So if this is what my generator is, I want to enter the data. Now for this data, I need to add how many bits? 16 bits. Okay, 16 bits. This is what we discussed in the logic. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now I need to start with my computation. The same thing I am doing here. Okay, so I'm incrementing the length and trying to add the 16 bit towards the data to be transmitted. Okay, then obviously the k is nothing but it's the difference between length and the number of bits. So I'm starting to equate, okay, a of I into b of I. Now I'm going to call a function called as divide, which is going to jump from calling function to called function, and it is going to come here, and it is going to take a parameters like a and k, and gp of an array is holding your polynomial. It's having a coefficient of polynomial. Can you see here, x to the power of 16 plus x to the power of 12 plus x to the power of 5 2 plus x to the power of 0, the same polynomial, standard polynomial of 16 bits. It is same thing which you have mentioned in terms of a bits now. Okay, now again what we are doing, it's very clear that the first bit should not be 0. If it is 0, then we can come out directly. If it is not 0, like 1, we can do the computation. That is nothing but my XOR operation. Okay, which I need to do here, the XOR operation. If I going to do it again, try to add the same bit here. Okay, which I'm trying, 1 0. Okay, the same bit. Okay, the same bit. Let me copy the same bit. I'm doing a XOR operation here, the same bit. Okay, so let me move the bits. Okay, there is a space between the bits. There is no space between the bits. So it's looking lengthy, but actually this is more bits compared to this. Now do the XOR operation. 1 1 is 0, 1 0 is 1, 0 0 is 0, 0 0 is 0, 0 1 is 1. Now you get an content like, okay, so when you once you do this, the leftmost bit always 1. Okay, people know the leftmost bit is 1. So the condition is going to become true. Then you is going to enter into inner loop of j, and you are going to do the XOR operation. Like this, you here I have done the whole XOR operation in single shot, but actually this is going to do for every single bit. Okay, so once it is going to take the results and come back here. Okay, so then again I am going to check the next step of the XOR operation. Okay, that is I'm doing a XOR of a of I of XOR of b of I. That is what it is. It is to check whether there is an error or not. Now what happens? I need to check whether I will get a data to be transmitted. Okay, I'm going to get the data to be transmitted, and then once I get the data to be transmitted in a of I, then I need to ask a data to be received. So here what we are considering is, here we are not considering a sending system is different from that of a receiving system. We consider for a time being that a single server it is, where the sender and receiver are in the same system. So what you need to do is you need to enter the data which is received. If you are going to enter the same data, then it should very clearly show that that there is no error. If there is a variation in any one of the bit, okay, if there is a variation in any of the one of the bit, then obviously there will be an error in the data. This is a very simple logic, simple program which is written in the Java for you to understand the logic which I have taught you in the previous video, which has been uploaded already. Okay, so let me run the program. Okay, let me run the program and show you. See, it is going to ask me to enter the length of the data frame. Suppose I'm going to enter 3 and I want to transmit the data 110. Okay, so I got a CRC cycle. Okay, for the data to be transmitted. Okay, now if the receiver end, if I'm going to enter the same data, okay, if I'm going to enter, since I'm considering this system as a sender and receiver both, okay, if I'm going to enter the same data, okay, same data, then there is no error. Okay, now let me show you. Okay, let me show you if there is a problem with the data. So enter the length of the data is 3. Okay, if I'm going to take 1102 to be transmitted, okay, if I'm going to make a mistake in any one of the data, okay, see here, see here, see here. Okay, yeah, if I'm going to make there is some error, not a problem. I think it got flashed. Okay, let me run and show you. Okay, so if I'm going to enter 3 and I'm going to enter 1 1 0 data to be transmitted, I got a transmitting data, but at the receiver end I'm doing a mistake. Okay, so then your data is corrupted. The CRC work is to find the data which is corrupted. Okay, so yeah, error in the received data. This is what actually cyclic redundancy check is going to do, and this is simple Java program, which this is called as a bit operator. This bit operator is the symbol of your XOR. Okay, XOR, you know what is the meaning of that? If both the bits are same, the value is 0. Even there is a variation in the one bit, the value is going to become 1. So it is a bitwise operator that we have used in our program, and this is all about the CRC program for in order to find the error in a receiving and transmitting data. So the logic of the same, which I have explained in the previous video, and the same I am trying to explain in the current video by means of a program. I have run the program and I have explained the logic with respect to that of a program. So any doubts in the program, you people are very free to ask me, or you people can contact me, or you can put a comment into the YouTube video where you are watching. So I'm going to look into that and I'm going to respond. Okay, the same logic I have explained in the already in the previous video. For the same logic, now I'm explaining the program, how to write a program in Java in order to find the CRC of 16-bit. Okay, 16-bit. So it's very clearly I'm taking it's not mandatory that you should use the same polynomial. It's left to you that whichever the polynomial you people want, you people can use. Okay, so with this, I'm stopping my explanation of this program. So any doubt, you people are very very encouraged to ask me. Okay, thank you.